but we're going to kick off this edition of the Rock News Roundup podcast with Foo Fighters returning to the live stage with their new drummer, Ilan Rubin, and also making a hilarious artificial intelligence video that's pretty much just pokes fun at artificial intelligence. So let's break this all down for you. The Foo Fighters have returned to the live stage with their new drummer, Ilan Rubin. He was announced as a replacement for Josh Freese just a couple of weeks ago, and they performed 2 surprise warm-up shows in Southern California before they head off to Asia to do a couple of big festivals. So this was a way for them to break in the new drummer, get back on the live stage, maybe try to forget some of the controversy that Dave Grohl has been involved in over the last little while. And they played some really cool warm-up shows. So the fans, they didn't really know about this in advance. The Foo Fighters announced it very, very quickly on social media for fans actually to line up. They had to line up in person, not even online. Old school. They had to line up in person to get tickets to their shows at the Fremont Theater and the Observatory, which sold out almost immediately. Both of these shows happening in Southern California. And I just wanted to pop up the set lists for these Foo Fighters shows. So they didn't play anything new, but if you're a Foo Fighters fan and you showed up and you waited in line to get tickets for these shows, I think you'd be pretty happy with these set lists when they did the first show at the Fremont Theater. And, forgive me if I don't pronounce this completely correctly, San Luis Obispo, California, United States. They opened up with All My Life. They played Rope. They played Have It All from One by One as the third song. They haven't played that live in a very, very long time. And then another great set list. Times Like These, Watershed, Stacked Actors, La Di Da from Concrete and Gold. These Days, The Pretender, My Hero, Learn to Fly, Rescued, Aurora. This is a call. I'm just running through this whole thing, but they played some, playing Watershed was cool. Winnebago, that's not one that they play all the time. These are from their first record. Alone in Easy Target, Low, Monkey Wrench, Exhausted, another great one from the first record, and Everlong. And then they switched things up a little bit for the show on the second night at the Observatory in Santa Ana, California. This is, again, another great set list where they found like a really perfect balance between, their big hits, and then there are also some album tracks and fan favorites. They opened up this one with enough space from Color in the Shape. That is a great opener with that awesome bass line from Nate Mendel into All My Life. And some of these same songs that they played Under You from the most recent record, But Here We Are. And then they also played Big Me. They played This Is a Call, No Son of Mine, Weenie Beanie, another great song from the first record, Monkey Wrench, Exhausted. They played some really killer set lists. So even though we didn't get anything new really from the Foo Fighters, they didn't even play their most recent single, Today's Song. It looks like it was an awesome set list for these warm-up shows in Southern California with their new drummer, Ilan Rubin, and he sounds pretty good going into this show. I only saw some snippets on social media, on YouTube, so really hard to see unless you were in the room, but he sounded pretty good. Now, it's the Foo Fighters drumming position is always going to be a hard position to fill because you have one of the world's best drummers on lead vocals and guitar in your band you got Dave Grohl up there doing his thing. And then this is a band where the legacy looms large on the drummer, right? Taylor Hawkins was the Foo Fighters drummer. He was a huge personality within the band. He's practically irreplaceable, but of course the band has to keep going, and I don't think anybody faults them for keeping going and still doing the Foo Fighters thing. But any Foo Fighters drummer needs to have an incredible amount of energy and stamina. I don't care what anybody says. From what I've seen, I'm not a drummer. I'm a singer and a guitar player. I don't know as much about drums. And I've played in bands for 25 years. I've played with lots of drummers over the years, so I know what a good drummer is, and I know for a fact that in the Foo Fighters, any drummer that takes that spot has to be amazing. Has to have the stamina and the energy, something that Taylor Hawkins had in spades, and of course, there's been more controversy on the drummer side of Foo Fighters things because Josh Freese was the initial replacement for Taylor Hawkins, and now they replaced Josh Freese with Ilan Rubin. The funny thing is that Ilan Rubin was the drummer for Nine Inch Nails. Josh Freese used to play with Nine Inch Nails, was playing with the Foo Fighters, and then they swapped. Josh Freese went back to Nine Inch Nails. Ilan Rubin went back with or went to the Foo Fighters, and so I don't really know what happened there, why the band let Josh Freese go. It's still kind of a mystery. It sounds like it was a mystery to him as well. It's not something that he really expected, but from what I can see in this footage, Ilan Rubin is playing a lot of the songs really well. And again, not easy songs to play. I challenge most drummers to try to play Everlong all the way through without getting tired, or playing All My Life, or some of these other big Foo Fighters songs. They require a tremendous amount of stamina and energy. Again, I'm a lead singer and guitar player, but I played with drummers for a very long time, so I know the fact that these things are not as easy as they look. I've seen some people knock online, well, it's the Foo Fighters. Like, how hard can the drumming be, and why do they keep working through so many drummers? And the honest truth is that being a drummer for the Foo Fighters isn't as easy as it looks. And so it looks like Ilan Rubin has been able to kind of fit the role so far, which is not an easy role to fill. But on top of these two shows that they did in California to warm up for their Asian tour dates, the Foo Fighters also released a hilarious video online that was hilarious to me, but disturbing in the reaction that it got from fans online. So you can go check it out on the Foo Fighters official YouTube channel. They released an AI video making fun of artificial intelligence and all the generative AI that we've seen, and how it ends up leading to all sorts of horrible images that we can't even fathom. People with all sorts of things that they shouldn't have. In this video, Dave Grohl has 6 fingers when he's talking about the set list, which is like illegible. You can't even read it. Pat Smear has 3 legs in one of the shots. They all have odd voices. They all look a little bit weird. The uncanny valley is totally in full effect with this video. And it's supposed to be tongue-in-cheek. This is the Foo Fighters we're talking about. They've always done things that are tongue-in-cheek. They've always done comedic things, whether it be, trolling the Westboro Baptist Church, or releasing various videos over the years where they dress up, whether they be Everlong or Learn to Fly. We know the Foo Fighters are known to do things that are tongue-in-cheek, and this video was absolutely hilarious. I'm talking about making a human connection with their fans and making music while they have all sorts of funny AI images. But the thing that really disturbed me about this entire video was how many fans on the Foo Fighters social media accounts that didn't realize this was artificial intelligence. That is the thing that scared me the most, because the Foo Fighters, like right from the get-go, when I put on the video, I got it in an email, one of their email newsletters. Right from the get-go, when I opened up the email and watched the video, I knew that it was artificial intelligence, because Dave Grohl's mouth looked all funky, and you could tell that it wasn't really his voice. It was a generated voice. You could tell it was fake right from the get-go. And I immediately started laughing and saying, this is hilarious. This is so typical of the Foo Fighters to do a funny video like this and poke fun at AI when we're in the age of artificial intelligence and generative AI, videos, graphics, everything. It's a wild west out there when it comes to AI. And then when you went into the comments, there were fans, of course, who were able to call it out like I did when I first watched it, but some other ones literally didn't say a thing about it being artificial intelligence. They were just agreeing with whatever was being said in the video. They were just going along with it. And it didn't seem like they were able to discern that the Foo Fighters were taking the piss out of artificial intelligence in the video. They didn't notice that Dave Grohl had like 6 or 7 fingers. They didn't know that everybody looked really, really weird and that their voices were really strange and it was really off. And that's the part that disturbs me, because Foo Fighters were being quite obvious in this video that they were making fun of artificial intelligence, using artificial intelligence. And the fact that a lot of fans in the comments of their social media accounts, at least from what I could tell, did not realize that off the top. And to me, folks, I'm not going to get into a big long rant about artificial intelligence and the arts and music and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to get into that. But the fact that a lot of fans weren't able to track that this was a purposely made like comedic video about artificial intelligence, I find that to be really disturbing. And that is the dystopia that we live in 2025. But either way, it was a hilarious video. It's great to have the Foo Fighters back. They've been saying that there's more to come. So we can only assume, or hopefully you can assume, that it's going to be new music, a new album, maybe some tour dates outside of Asia. That's kind of where they're kicking things off, in like Indonesia and that kind of thing. So we'll see. Hopefully this all leads to some new music from Foo Fighters, them getting back on the road. They didn't come to Toronto or this part of Canada on their last tour for But Here We Are. So I'm hoping that they make their way here, release some more new music. Today's song, the one that came out a little while ago, it's okay, but they actually released a snippet on one of their teaser posts for the warm-up shows in Southern California. It had a cool riff on it. That sounds cooler than today's song. But anyways, the Foo Fighters are back with their new drummer. It looks like he's fitting the bill really well. Hopefully he can stay with the band and keep rocking with them. So that's going to be really cool. They did those warm-up shows in Southern California. They're heading over to Asia to do a bunch of shows there as well. And then they released this hilarious AI video on their website as well. Some fans did not clock that this was AI, and that part is really disturbing. But anyways, hop into the comments below. Let me know what you think of the new drummer, based on, people who were in the room, or based on if you saw footage online. Let me know in the comments, and let me know what you thought of this Foo Fighters AI video. I found it to be hilarious, but was also very disturbed that a lot of fans did not manage to track that themselves. So it's just very funny, but also very disturbing. So let me know what you think of all this Foo Fighters news and content in the comments below.